spiritual concepts validated by science using graphics and animation. This is just an overview, fast overview. We have a soul world, we have a human world. We talk about the spirit, which is the first actor. The Q is defined, which is a quality or color of the soul. The definition of the soul. The two scripts will define the journey of the soul. The religious tree where souls stay. This is entry one by one. And this is a transfer, means death with change of dress and address. Exit at the same time, all together. During journey, soul observes the five elements which are defined. With quantum physics, we can prove that Pani-Banai script controls the Sankalp and Vikalp, which in turn controls the Prakriti and Srushti. This is energy. Five element is in the duality, the energy, and once it is observed by the soul, it gets converted into the mass. The details, justifications we will see. There is a Libet experiment. Which controls that everything starts from the unconscious mind or script, and it is the conscious mind, then there is action. So this proves that actually there is no free will, everything is predetermined, and this is by the EEG or brain wave. So the script, based on the script, soul observes, then it goes to the energy, to the Prakriti, then it Schrodinger equation gets converted into the mass so that conscious can understand. This is the karmic cycle. The script is being executed. This is the subconscious script, like lubrication layer. And this gets executed, and that's why the Q is getting reduced. And we'll understand the definition of the Maya. And because of that, this script is executed. Then there is a Satotu-tamo, color is reduced. So because of the Maya, these black layers are getting generated, and in general, Q is getting reduced. This is a body conscious layer. So there is an internal something like this was a lubrication layer. So it was a deterministic thing. Once lubrication peels off, the non-deterministic or karma is a guya gati. So there is a sukh, dukh, karma is positive, negative. And this is explained using heat engine, where the exhaust is equal to sankalp, entropy is equal to vikar, exergy destroyed is equal to vikalp, and we are trying to prove that we all know that Purush controls the Prakriti, so that Purush Vikar actually controls the entropy of the Prakriti, because conservation of first law of thermodynamics is that quantity is conserved but quality gets deteriorated. This is all proved, we explain later on. It is proved that because quantum physics says that Purush controls the Prakriti, and that is why reverse also we can prove that Purush Vikar controls the entropy of the Prakriti. And let us define what is Vikar. This is the definition of the Vikar, which is acquired by swine during the journey because of the attachment of body, name, and fame. And this is the cycle. As per the physics, it will go on till infinity. But if there is going to be a cycle, or there is some eternal thing, there is justification why it is going to be cycle. And if it is a cycle, then Sato to Tamo, then it has to be Tamo to Sato. And that is cycle is triggered by this Gita Shlok. The definition of the Supreme Soul is there. And then there is Avtara, the definition of Avtara is given here. And then if there is Avtara, then there is two possibilities. The cycle can be completed either by yoga or bhog. There are two paths are there. Concepts of yoga and bhog is concept here. And then because cycle vikar has to become zero, so this Avtara of Param Purush, it will nullify the vikars. And this bhog and yoga. The pain is constant, this is external, based on this karmic account. If you are then, because though there will be suffering which is internal to the mind, so if you have the procedure for rope, then that suffering has to be by Gyan and Yoga, is to be converted into script as a sub-lubrication layer, and that is can be done through Raj Yoga. This is explained. This is this is Yoga option, this is a Bhog option. And then ultimately acquired thing in subconscious mind, that removal of this black layer of vikar using previous frequency is zero, that is the charging. And that is the real definition of spirituality. So the soul is this is a cue with original sanskar, and this is acquired sanskar. So original sanskars we have always internal, it's always sada. So external, because of this vikar, temporary sukh and dukh is experienced. So the internal sukh is always internal. The soul should be aware of that. So this is actually the soul. So it's not the body. And then using the Raj Yoga, yes, that is what is spirituality. This acquired vikar has to be removed. And then there are two scripts. The single script journey is only for only 2 yugs. This is the cycle. Avtarana of the Paramatma. And this is how the spirituality is defined. If you do it from the yoga, then you will be able to the deterministic world. This is the script of Paramatmas, which is executed in copper and iron age. This Bhakta's Manokama is known, which is temporary, which is used only for one, depends on the bhavana. Whereas in the diamond age, whoever recognizes the God, so that is the children, and then to them that Sadgiti is given for the half cycle, but Gati is given to all the souls. This is the definition of the drama. Now we can Now we can see what is the quantum physics. So the details can be seen here. This is the double slit experiment. It is self-explanatory. This is which way the delayed choice, two observations. So because of these two observations, you can see that the Sankalp there is a Sankalp Sushti, and then because after and before thing is there, so it is actually the script of the soul which controls the Prakriti, and this is we validated in late by 1991 by delayed choice quantum eraser experiment, just to remove the detector coherence. So that also is proved. This is very easy list. Then this Schrodinger equation. This is the interpretation of the Schrodinger equation. So what it shows that from the script is going to the Prakriti. So this Schrodinger equation gets converted into energy to M, which is a Guya. It gets converted into M, and then that because it is a conscious mind that is only detected. So this is actually the this is actually the truth. But other interpretation is that we can say that the Vedic interpretation is that energy is mithya, only truth is the conscious, what is observed. So that is the truth. So M is the truth, is not true. So that is this conservation. Then that is Vedic interpretation. And Akshatra Gita interpretation is that only the Q, which is the green part, that is only the truth. Even the Vikar or black layer, that is also only that Q is the truth, and which is almost whatever is the supreme soul, that is everything else is mithya. But the truth is the script of the Purush, and that is the truth, and that is the drama is getting repeated. So that is what is being interpreted. And then this is the direction which we have already explained. And let us see how this is to be explained. So this is thermodynamics. Heat engine. This is ideal and non-ideal. These are the ingredients. So, and this is because of this leakage. This is entropy. This equation is derived from this equation, and this is the ideal thing where entropy is here non-ideal thing. So we can see that entropy is keeping changing. It is not going back to the same thing. So there is always increase in the entropy. So graphically it is explained that from the cycle, this is a process, and because of the internal entropy, external dq by t, they are always equal. So this point, it is always returns back to the same point. That's like the TNS diagram. So this ds is 0. Here it doesn't return to the same point. And because of this black layer, this is what is happening. So that has been explained here. This is from thermodynamic into the statistical entropy into the information entropy. Those things are being explained here. This is information entropy. Destination, virtually the number of layers. It depends on the sensation of the body or attachment with relation and objects. And ideally, there is only one script, but then because of this information, there's multiple layers or the multiple vicars are there, and vicar depends on multiple layers. And that because of the information that depends on the time. So the probability is that we'll try to go towards where there are more number of layers. So it is same as we go for the number of microstates. So there is a probability that the macrostate will go where there is more number of microstates. And same way is that we'll do the probability where there are more layers. So there is more Maya. So this is so this is what it is that the entropy is trying to relate with the vikar of the soul. And this is the heat engine and the soul, they are compared. And this is the table which explains Sankalp, Vikalp, then entropy is Vikar, then Karn, Akarn, Vikarn. All those features are explained using this diagram. And ultimately, we are combining quantum physics, theory of relativity, and thermodynamics from the script in space and time. This is there, then it goes to the phi element, which is sigma, then as per the Schrodinger equation, it gets converted into energy is converted into particle, then there is a psi gets converted into psi n and sin m. So this we can say that collapse of the Schrodinger equation, and then so that it can be understood by the conscious mind, and then this sigma is generated the sankalp, conscious mind generates the sankalp based on the sigma n, and then prakriti is converted into dq by t, which is based on the external equilibrium, and then this gets converted into vikalp, which is nothing but the dsg, which is a kind of entropy, internal entropy. And this becomes on the external factors, and this is because of the internal. This is vikar. So this sankalp and vikalp is generated. So this part is proved. Then we will see what is the concept of avtaran. So this is the concept of avtaran is been explained. Two souls in body. There are departed soul, concept of the departed soul, and the concept of religious founder, then then the concept of the supreme soul. Because of that, it is a limited transformer, Brahma, we call it the the history is only of 2,500 years. Then we will see the Brahma cycle. So why it is cycle? So religious texts and karmic theory, and you can say that because of the block universe also is religious circular. Then the Yada Mahabharata repeats Darwin theory, then population theory. Nature is full of cycles. Then we have a special relativity that also tries to prove that. Then there's chicken and eggs syndrome, cycle, and Matitsu, which is internal. So this tries to prove that drama is cycle. Then when the cycle, then with this converted by the theory of the karma bhog, and then we say yoga, the yoga, yoga. What this is what we can experience. then you can see this elaborate cycle. Cycle is explained in detail. And total overview of the cycle. Cycle is explained. Then we can explain this diagram. Cyclic journey. Then definitely Rajyoga concept, body, this energy body, which is the food and exercise. And this is the soul, which is acute the black layer of conscious mind, the subconscious mind, conscious mind, and that generates the energy body. And the journey of the soul, during journey of the soul, the seven qualities from soul conscious, so the good body conscious becomes role conscious, and then because vikar is generated, and then because of the attachments, the acquisition, body, name, fame, and that is what is generated Sukhendu. The soul has the internal thing, and that is always deteriorated. And because Q is required, the internal thing is required, so it's trying to accept from the external things, and that is what is temporary, and that generates the vikar. Then the Supreme Soul has Q is infinity, and the Yoga is beyond. Then because of this Raj Yoga, the vikar is black layer is removed, the soul is charged, and then emotional health that is also improves, and then psychosomatic disease and all are reduced, and then emotional health Because of the Raj Yoga, this mind is control, Vikar is control, and that will regenerate happiness. This Raj Yoga is control, self yoga is connection to the God. And ultimately, what you want is that mala is japna is bhakti, but then we want to become the mala kamaltam. That is the ultimate objective, is that we to become from pujari to pujya. That is the objective of the Raj Yoga.